I'm all right. How are you?
Is this like overwhelming?
A little, yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a few weeks now since everything happened. How have you been able to even digest and process what happened to you?
I still kind of am. I'm staying low. I'm just, focusing on myself and, doing a lot of reading, I guess. There's not really much for me to do right now. Besides, I'm just kind of waiting to see what transpires from this. So I'm just trying to stay patient.
Talk to us about how you're feeling injury-wise.
I'm not feeling so much pain as I am completely numb on my hands are numb. And I get it's almost like electricity coming from my elbows and my shoulders every once in a while. My hands are just completely numb, so that's really frustrating, especially I was trying to cut my fingernails and it was really weird sensations. I couldn't even do it myself. And even one morning I closed my eyes and I put my hands behind my back when I was in the shower and I couldn't feel my fingers. It felt like I was missing my hands. It was a really weird sensation. So I'm just really struggling with that right now, not being able to feel stuff, but so far it's so good. I mean, I'm progressing,
But that wasn't an issue before the arrest?
It was never an issue.
Okay. What about, I know you had to go to the hospital, I believe, how many times?
Twice.
And what did they tell you about any other injuries?
I had a concussion, and I was getting really bad dizzy spells, so I was throwing up and just being extremely nauseous. And I had gone back home to stay with my parents, and I ended up having to go to the hospital a second time because it was my equilibrium was completely off, and it was almost like vertigo. I just couldn't even stand up. I was just constantly sick. And it was bed rest for a few days, and it's worn off, as time goes on. But those were symptoms from the concussion. And I had some, they thought I had a fractured wrist, but the swelling went down. I did another x-ray, and that's in good shape now. So, but that's pretty much what was going on there.
Well, it seems like a lot of physical aspects to this, but what about the mental aspect of processing what's happened?
I think I'm still processing it because I sometimes it's not registering because I'll watch the video and it doesn't feel like I'm watching myself, or I'll read stuff and it just doesn't seem like it's me at all. It's kind of out of body still, and I don't know if it's just the processing of it all, but I'm still kind of in awe with it. I'm not really, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. I'm not really feeling myself.
Well, I hate to put you back to that day and those few days, but can you kind of walk us through what you remember?
I really don't remember that much. It's kind of like a blur. I got there, I had a drink, and then after that it was kind of scuffling, and then me questioning why I'm even arrested. Actually the whole time I just didn't understand what was going on at all anyway. So it's really just a mystery how it even transpired, what happened. And throughout the whole time that I was there, I wasn't allowed to use a phone. Nobody would tell me what was going on, so I really had no idea why it was there at all. I had a visit, and I knew I had been hit, but I didn't know the extent of me getting hit. I didn't even know what happened in the parking lot till I saw the video. I didn't even know that there was videos out until I was released, and I had to find out on my own through my cell phone. So it was oh my gosh, what happened, and I didn't realize the extent of it all till after the fact.
So do you remember the officer at any point punching you or kicking you?
Yeah, but I didn't think it was as bad as it, because it was kind of it was so out of body, and I was really disoriented, and I kind of lost my perception of everything, So, and even adrenaline, because I wasn't feeling anything. So when I was in there, I didn't, the anxiety and all that stuff, I didn't know the extent of the injuries or the hitting or whatever he did to me until I was watching the videos. And then when I was watching the videos, it was out of body because I don't feel like I'm even watching myself, so it's just really weird.
So how long were you at the detention facility?
2 days.
What do you remember of those 2 days?
They put me in medical, so I couldn't use the phone. So the whole 2 days I didn't have phone access. And then I had to like go through evaluation, which was supposed to be like 24 to 48 hours, and then we'll decide. And then after we do that, it's another 24, 48 hours till we move you somewhere so you can use the phone. So I started doing the math. I'm like, that's 5 days I'm going to be here, and I don't even know why I'm here. You know, I didn't find out till I went to court, and it was, you know, the whole trespassing thing. And I'm like, why am I getting, like, it still doesn't make sense why I would get any of that. And finally, one of the women was nice enough to, like, get me out of that area so I can use the phone a few hours after my court. And by that time, my family had already known what was going on, so it was just a matter of me calling, and about 3 hours later, I was out. So I didn't get out till about 6 or 7 in the afternoon, the second day. And the next morning, I went to the hospital.
So did anyone from JSO approach you in the 2 days that you were there to ask you about what happened?
Yeah, but I didn't even, and it was like in the middle of the night, like I don't even know what time it was, but it was like in the middle of the night. 2 officers came and they were asking me like all these questions about the guy that hit me, and I wasn't even focused about that. I was like, I'm still trying to figure out why I'm here. I didn't realize that he had hit me like that. And I was like I said, I was really disoriented, and I lost my perception of everything. So I was just really confused. I hardly even remember the interview with these people. I just remember me getting taken out of the cell and being put in this like little glass room when 2 people came in kind of like interrogating me about the situation. So it was just really confusing, you know, that they would like pull me out like that and just ask me questions when I was in that condition, because I don't even remember like half of the questions or anything.
Do you know who those people were with?
I guess they work within the jail. They called themselves the Integrity Unit, but there is a name for it. Like, do you remember what it's called? Like,
well, I guess it's their version of internal affairs,
Yeah.
investigating the officer's conduct.
So now that you realize that these were actually people there investigating the officer's conduct, does that carry any greater weight with you, that they kind of immediately knew that they needed to get on top of this?
I don't know. It's still really confusing to me. Yeah. You know, like even like the whole intention. Like right now, I have really bad trust issues. So even I wasn't even comfortable with, you know, that situation. I still am not. So I'm just letting them handle it for me. So I don't know.
Talk to me about that you're facing a serious charge.
Yeah.
Of a 3rd-degree felony, and then watching the officer and know that he is charged with a misdemeanor. How does that feel?
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair at all. I don't understand why I'm even getting charged with that. You know, you see the video and everything like that. I was actually on the phone with my father when that happened because I didn't know what to do. Supposedly I called him saying, you know, they want me to drive. I can't drive, and they want me to leave. And before I know it, my dad heard me getting getting thrown on the ground, and he could hear me screaming on the phone. So with that being said, how am I resisting with violence when clearly like I'm being manhandled? So I don't think that's fair at all, you know.
What would you want to say, if anything, to Mr. Borisade tonight?
Good luck. That's all I can say. I don't really have anything to say to him. But that's it.
Do you feel like JSO maybe should have had some procedures in place that he should not have had contact with you the second time after what may have happened the first time?
Yeah. And even on the second time, like, the officer's just standing around, like, watching, like, it's just another TV show. Or it was so, everyone was so cavalier about it afterwards, too. It was like, so it like happens all the time. Like, you just fix your uniform and go back to reading your paper. Like, that's really inhumane, in my opinion. So just because the situation is whether or not I'm in handcuffs, so it's inhumane. You don't treat other people that way, especially if you don't know them. Even if you do know them, it doesn't matter. You just don't treat people that way, period.
Well, and do you expect more of your law enforcement officers?
Yeah, you know, like, you know, I was watching the interview, I guess he was the sheriff, or, you know, he said there's different ways of doing things, and there are. You know, regardless of if I'm right or wrong, what happened, happened. So they just messed up, I guess.
What are your thoughts? What are your perceptions of JSO after this has happened?
I don't really think highly of them, obviously. You know, there's that saying, if like you hang around a garbage can long enough, you're going to start smelling like it. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like how I feel about the whole JSO situation. So,
do you feel like the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office terminating Mr. Borisade and charging him with a misdemeanor was enough action?
I don't think a misdemeanor is enough. Firing him, yeah, good for you, but I kind of feel like they're just trying to cover their own selves, but that's my opinion. And that's, you know, that's that.
Mm-hmm. And I guess, what are you most upset about in the entire situation?
That the whole thing even happened. Like, it shouldn't have happened at all. You know, like, I was reading the arrest report, and they were saying I was too incoherent to even make rational decisions. So why do you want me to leave in my car? You know, like, that's kind of setting me up for a DUI or something. But either way, I was in a catch-22. Like, I was in no winning. So what happened to a cab ride or like suggesting an Uber? If I, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many other ways it could have been handled. And like I said, I don't know. I don't have much memory of it. But if that was the case, why weren't those other options played out, you know?
What do you want the community to know about Mayra Martinez?
I was definitely perceived incorrectly, like being at the gentleman's club like that, you know? Everybody has a responsibility. Everybody has responsibilities in their life, and my first job and my passion is yoga. It really gives me purpose and everything, and I feel really bad because it's even embarrassing to the yoga community, you know, because it's contradicting lifestyles. You know, I have one foot here, you know, supporting the dream, and then I have the other foot here where I'm trying to, like, do my best. So, like, being caught in the middle of two worlds where one is built on ego and the other one's tearing it down, excuse me, like, it's, you know, I'm caught in between two worlds, and it's, like, I'm just trying to do the right thing, and it happens, you know, everybody has a bad day, I guess, you know, and I just don't want to be judged that way or being looked at just in that manner because of where it happened and everything like that, you know. There's a lot of successful women that had to do what they had to do to get to where they had to get to where they want to get, and that's just, you know, what I have to do, what I had to do at that time. So, you know, the whole perception, the way that I was portrayed just really sucks. It sucks.
So, set the record straight for me. Who is Mayra Martinez?
I'm a yoga teacher, and hopefully, as I'm learning, other people will learn. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much it.
Do you remember? They're claiming you took 4 drinks. Do you remember that at all? Or?
No, I don't. I remember taking one very large drink, and that was it. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember taking 4, and I remember taking the one large drink, which is, you know, the scale on that drink was 4 ounces. So if they want to break it down like that, they can, but it was one large drink.
Do you feel like they had a responsibility, though, in serving you alcohol and also making sure that you were okay?
I think everybody has to maintain their own responsibility as far as alcohol and decision-making and everything like that. But everybody had a role in the situation, whether it's right or wrong. And I just, you know, I'm not in that position to even say. But like I said, everybody has their own personal responsibility in every role. So
I'm going to pull Reed in for a minute and ask him a little bit about the case, if that's okay with you. Okay. And if you want to chime in at any point, feel free, or we'll come back to you as well.
Okay.
Okay. So Reed, in working this case so far, I know it's just been a recent case for the firm, but what stands out to you as what is this case? What is it a case of?
Well, right now I think it's, you know, we're trying to investigate, trying to find out and understand exactly what happened. You know, obviously we fortunately have the benefit of the video from the Scores parking lot that was captured by what we call a good Samaritan, who was fortunately there to see it, because what you see on the video stands in stark contrast to the way the arrest and booking report is written out.
I guess under the law, aren't they supposed to be rendering aid if someone is hurt, or is that even a part of the law?
You would certainly hope that a Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, who is charged with serving the community and protecting citizens of the community, whether somebody is in handcuffs or not, and regardless of what may or may not have happened, which brought her to the jail, at the end of the day, they're human beings. And so you would expect them to come to somebody's aid when they see them on the ground, potentially unconscious, after being beaten by a full-grown man.
Are you in support, Mayra, of officers wearing body cameras?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel like that might have provided some answers in this case?
Yes. Yeah.
How was it for you to see the sheriff addressing the media about what happened to you? Like, obviously you're not just an inmate.
Yeah.
You're a person and a daughter.
Yeah.
And a friend. How was that to hear the sheriff talking about your case?
Everything's really surreal. You know, I'm still soaking it in as it comes, and, you know, little bits and pieces. Sometimes, you know, honestly, I haven't watched through his whole video. I kind of just stop at a certain point because I just get like overwhelmed with it, and then I haven't completely watched the whole thing. I just kind of, I need to focus on myself, and I'm not, like I said, I just don't want the community to have a bad image of me, especially me just moving to this town, you know, and I was really looking forward to having a fresh start here, and, you know, the yoga community is great here, and the Indian culture is amazing. So I was, you know, more worried about that, and I don't want to focus on people talking too much about my case or anything, because I don't want my mind to go down rabbit holes, you know, and I'm still kind of upset about it. So I just kind of, you know, and I kind of feel like he had to do what he had to do based on his job stature and everything like that. So for me, it was out one ear and out the other, in one ear out the other. So
how much of the videos have you watched?
I've watched the 2 videos. I watched the first video when I got out, and then when the second video came out, somebody sent it to me, and I guess it's on YouTube or whatever. So I got the clip with both of them together, and I was just like, oh, you know, it's, like I said, it doesn't feel like I'm watching myself. So it's surreal.
Does it make you emotional when you watch them, or do you?
It's just numb. I'm kind of numb right now. So I'm still soaking things in, kind of registering it all, you know.
Are you frightened at all by the criminal aspect of your case?
Yeah, I am. Absolutely.
Well, talk to us about how you're putting this behind you and moving forward.
Well, right now, I'm taking one day at a time, and I'm just focusing on keeping myself busy in the meantime, and just, that's it, just bettering the situation and myself as it comes, and just dealing with one thing at a time so I don't get overwhelmed, and just, you know, keeping calm and just dealing with what is in front of me.
Are you grateful for the videos to at least have some answers and some evidence, or is it hard to go back and watch and relive?
Both. Yeah, you know, like, I'm glad there was a video because of that. It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. Sorry. You know, it is what it is. So, I mean, I'm glad, you know, because, like, the truth is out there, but at the same time, it just, you know, it's not good for me, you know. I don't want that out there, you know. Nobody would. So I'm just dealing with it, you know. I'm trying to put it behind me, and, you know, I don't watch the videos anymore or anything like that. For a while there, I kept, like, replaying. I think it was just, like, the shock of it all, you know. I watched it numerous times, and now I'm just, like, I don't even want to know about it. Yeah. Like, I don't want to hear about the videos anymore or watch them or anything.
Do you have serious questions about those gaps sometimes, though, that Reed's talking about, that they're going to try to go put that piece of
Yeah, I do.
together?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what took place before and after and everything like that. So.
Anything else you might want to say to Mr. Borisade tonight if he was tuning in?
No, just like I said, good luck. That's it. I just wish him luck in life.